This is Dan of 𝗥𝗵𝗲𝗄. Here's the video of my Morelia, Mexico Old Town walking tour. There are interactive directions for this Google Maps walking tour. To get started, just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video. The link about Morelia, Mexico includes best day tours, best nightlife tours, best restaurants, best and cheap hotels, best flights, buses and trains, and a link to the best travel or retire cheap to paradise locations in the world. Now here's your video. So this is the Morelia Cathedral here in Morelia, and construction was started in 1660 and it took 84 years to complete. It has one of the largest pipe organs. It was installed in 1905 with 4,600 pipes. Most cathedrals in Mexico face the rising sun to accommodate beliefs of the indigenous people that you should be buried facing east, so you're facing the sun god when you're born into your next life. This cathedral faces north. The cathedral is the cultural center of Morelia, including both religious and cultural activities such as international music festivals. It's surrounded by 3 plazas, which I'll show you. Looks like there's going to be a wedding here today, and there's a band out front playing. That's why I'm speaking to you from the inside. Normally I don't speak in a church. There's the pipe organ at the back. Right now we're in Plaza De Armas. This is on the west side of the cathedral. This plaza is the main plaza of the city, as it is in most Mexican cities. And the gazebo there you look at was a gift from London. It used to be a statue of Murillo, and who the city is named after there. And it's a tree-lined street, very beautiful. And it's also known for Martyrs Plaza, in honor of the brave Mexicans executed in the plaza during Mexico's War of Independence. And it's really the shade and the way the trees are trimmed here and everything is just really a delightful place. And like most plazas in Mexico, it's full of families and kids playing. It's really a nice atmosphere to people watch. So I'm in the southwest corner of Plaza De Armas, and just wanted to show you what the Palace of Justice looks like. It's closed today, so I can't take you in there, but there's a beautiful mural on the back wall that you should see while you're here. And there's also a museum of documents that celebrate the development of the Supreme Court of this state. If you're enjoying this video, could you please like it, share it on social media, comment below, or subscribe? That simple kindness by you will increase our rankings in the search, and it'll help our business. Thank you. I don't know if they do this every Saturday, but they have this main street in front of the cathedral blocked off, and people are walking, enjoying themselves without having to deal with traffic, which is quite nice. As you can see, this is a beautiful city. And they've really kept it nice. This plaza honors President Juarez, and there he is. That's President Juarez. He's the only Mexican president that was the descendants of indigenous people from Mexico. He's celebrated for winning the Reform War in Mexico, which is a post-independence war. The Reform War is when Mexico separated religion and government. And so he was a liberal politician and fought the conservatives and got separated church and state, which of course we've had in the USA since inception. But they were so intertwined with the Catholic Church. They didn't get it till later. Okay. So sorry about the background noise. There's a live band not too far from here. This is 𝗂𝐻𝐿 Ocampo, and I'm in 𝗂𝐻𝐿 Plaza, which is on the east side of the cathedral. Ocampo was a mestizo, or mixed race baby, abandoned. That's him in front of us, abandoned at the door of a wealthy woman. She raised and educated him as her own. He became a politician and lawyer and argued that the Roman Catholic Church was taking all of the poor indigenous people's money. They couldn't afford to feed their families or educate their families. And Campo explained how one poor, hungry man did not have the exorbitant burial fees the Catholic priests demanded to allow his infant son into heaven. The hungry poor man cried as he asked, "What should I do with my dead son?" And the priest said, "Salt him and eat him." Ocampo fought for separation of church and state. Ocampo fought for the free public education, and he also fought for tolerance of all religious beliefs and elimination of the privileges that the elite colonialists had at the time, which he was an elite, the son of a wealthy woman. So he was arguing it's his own interests. Ocampo was able to get many of his ideas into President Juárez's reform laws before he was murdered by conservative religious fanatics. And so he was one of Juárez's guys, and just tells you what happens when you give a poor baby a chance. He becomes one of the most important citizens in this country's history. So, bravo Ocampo. And this is a gorgeous setting, as you can see. So on the way to the next stop, we saw this gorgeous courtyard through the opening in the door, and this is the University of Hidalgo. There, and this university is named after him. Of course, he's the father of independence. And as I've said before, he's like the combination of Washington and Lincoln, because he both won the independence and he freed the slaves. So, busy man. Although our founding fathers were about 80 years before Hidalgo in terms of the independence, they missed the slavery part, which ended up in a civil war, and he handled that at the time of independence. So good on him. So what you're looking at now is the public library of the university. It was annexed by the university in 1940. It was built though in the 17th century, some 1650-ish, and it was originally built as the Church of the Fellowship of Jesus. And it's Sunday today, they're closed. I wanted to show you the inside. They've supposedly done some nice stuff. It's a bookstore now, and public library. So this is 𝗪cie 𝗂𝐿𝐴. This presents both temporary art exhibits, both public and private collections. The construction of this former temple started in 1660 and was completed in about 100 years. The center receives its name from the Jesuit Francisco Javier Clavero. He is honored throughout Mexico as one of the first Mexican-born intellectuals who not only defended but counterattacked uninformed Europeans about the truth of the original people and their culture. He helps shed light in international communities that colonizers truly acted like animals in the New World, and that the original people acted with honor. Let's go inside and look around. And some colonial era works here. Most of these are 18th century works. Of course, the church was the largest sponsor of art through much of European history, and that followed here in New Spain also. If you spend much time in Mexico, you know that the indigenous people and throughout Mexico enjoy making masks, and so there's a fun little exhibit here. It's worth taking a peek at to see the types of work they do in the various regions of Mexico. So on the way to our next stop on the Google Maps walking tour, you'll happen to walk through this park if you use our Google Maps. You just click the link below this YouTube video in the notes, and every place we visit on this old town walking tour of Morelia, Mexico is on the tour, and you can just click and walk and have fun. You can even play my video if you want to remember what everything is as you walk. So this is not on the tour, but this Bishop, Don Vasco de Quiroga, I think is how you say it. He was sent in as a cleanup guy there was a conquistador here named Guzman, who was probably one of the worst human beings ever born on the planet. And the way he treated the locals probably is as much responsible for why Mexico had to secede from Spain as anything else. I mean, just the way the Spanish treated the people here is just unspeakable, really. But that was one of the bishops that came to try to clean things up. It never really got that much better for their lives, so they had to get their independence. Oh, incidentally, this is called the Jardín de las Rosas, or Garden of Roses. So if you cross the street from the Garden of Roses and go in what appears to be a church, you'll be inside here. This building was originally the Dominican convent of Santa Catalina, founded in 1595. Now it's a school that specializes in the arts, mainly music. And it's the home of the internationally known Young Arts Festival, and is home to the famous choir of the Singing Children of Morelia. And this screen you see behind you, this is the big hint that this was once a convent, because the convents, often the oldest daughter of a wealthy Spanish family would join the convent, and there would usually be a big fee they had to pay the church to join. And they were never able to see anyone again. So this grate here, there would be a black felt or screen of some kind, so they couldn't even see there. And the nuns would all be behind this during service. And so that's what that is. We're going to try to find a door to get in this place. This church obviously is not the school. It must be in the convent behind somehow, but it's closed. But probably just would have been a beautiful courtyard with rooms around the outside of it. So we've shown you a couple of those already. Now let's move to the next place. So I'm on my morning run, and the door to the academy was open today, so I thought I'd show you the courtyard that I referred to. So this is an arts academy, but it's primarily about music now. I won't repeat what I said, but as you can see, it's a So right now we're in the House of Culture of Morelia area. Presently right now we're in front of it in a plaza. In this one square block area there's a cultural center, an old Catholic church, an ex-convent of Carmen, and the Plaza of Carmen, which is where we are now. In 1593, Carmelite monks showed up from Spain and began building this compound. In 1809, prisoners of a conspiracy for independence from Spain were kept in the cultural center, which we'll be in a minute. The monks were kicked out in 1857 when the reform laws were activated, which I've talked about at other times with regard to Ocampo and Juarez. So when the people took charge of the church grounds, they kicked the monks out. The church has maintained its religious function, but otherwise this has all become community property. The Community Cultural Center now focuses on artistic workshops, concerts, exhibits, and cultural events. Hopefully we can get in a few of these today. Let's see. So we're not having much luck finding stuff open, but and of course it's raining today. But the grounds are worth a visit, even if you can't get in. It's really beautiful. So the church is to the left. If you're in the plaza, facing the compound, that's the front door of it, I believe. Today they're having some kind of, in the U.S. it'd be like a Lions Club type thing. They're selling food in there. It looks like maybe they're raising money or something for the church. And then the entrance to the cultural center, I believe, is around the other side. I thought I would show you. As you can see, most of this construction around us is all colonial era. So we'll sneak around the other side and look in there. I doubt it's open, but we'll check. So this is the right side if you're in the plaza, and along the other side there's what appears to be a door that's shut, and I think that's the entry for the cultural center. And this is probably the formal entry back in the day when this was a convent. And so no more fun today, kids. We'll try to sneak back tomorrow maybe and see what we can find. So behind me is Templo de San Francisco. It's actually the first church that was built in what's now known as Morelia, Mexico. So this is inside Templo de San Francisco. The friars taught the indigenous people how to read and write in addition to performing religious services. Make sure to visit the Artists Enclave on this plaza also. I seem to have found one of the two. Not labeled, so I don't know which, whether it's the open air museum or... Oh, here's the local artisans. I'm going to show you this courtyard first. Wow, isn't that lovely? It's a nice little stop on our tour. Wander about. It's cool in here too, which is always a bonus. And this one has been turned into, this convent area has been turned into a artist's co-op. It's beautiful. So the second floor has these huge corridors, and each little cubbyhole is a separate shop. And I don't know that much about clothing, so it's hard for me to really judge, but this is supposed to be the good stuff. So So Museo del Dulce de Calle Real. Part of discovering any culture should involve food, and what better place to start the inquiry than at a candy or sweets museum. Here you'll find the regional favorites, along with the history of how sweets evolved in this part of Mexico. It's only 25 pesos per person, which is about $1.25. It's open 7 days a week from 11 to 7:30 p.m. and they have a tour. It's included, both English and Spanish, and there's also a video you can watch, and it shows you how they make the candies and how the tradition evolved. And they also show you the factory, and it's kind of fun because they're in period piece clothes. I'll show you. She's speaking Spanish now, but there's also a history board of evolution of candy, which started pre-Hispanic times and runs all the way through current dates. And there's a couple of fun little exhibits here that show a more modern version of candy manufacturing. And it's more modern than that, as you might expect. And then the previous version that was started by the Dominican nuns.
I just asked them what is the famous ice cream and candy we should eat here. But I don't know the other name. The candy is called Morelia. And then they say we should try the pasta ice cream. There's two candy together.
Yeah, with milk.
And another one is the candy name is
Moreliana.
Moriana? Okay.
Let's go.
Alright.
It's more flavors like banana, orange, raspberry, and cinnamon with apple, something like that.
You have any tester that I can try?
This here.
Oh.
Okay, this is apple with cinnamon. This is tamarindo with chili. And this is Jamaica. This is mango. And this is orange.
This is chili?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this is pasta.
Pasta ice cream?
Yeah, do you want to taste it too?
Yes, please.
I don't know how to describe the flavor.
It should be wheat. It's pasta, right?
It's two candy together.
It's like a candy of milk.
Candy of milk.
And vanilla, and that's all.
It's a little like dulce de leche? Dulce?
Yeah, dulce de leche, yeah.
This is the most famous water fountain in Morelia, Mexico. The three beautiful women are indigenous princesses, 𝗪'𝐶𝐴, 𝗪indra, and 𝗪cie. Nudity was a social norm. The first version of this statue was completed in 1931, but removed in 30 years later by a prudish politician. The current version by 𝗄𝐿 Luis Padilla Retana was installed in 1984. The following aqueduct is visible from this fountain. Okay, so this is not the fountain that you want to look at. It's over here. And they're right next to each other. It's easy to get confused. But you'll notice there's three women holding up a basket of fruit over here. This is the one. So Morelia has had a difficult time providing enough water to the citizens since colonial times. And so, Aqueduct of Morelia, the current manifestation was completed in 1730, collapsed and completed again in 1785. That version lasted until 1910. It was restored again in 1998 as a beautiful example of colonial era works. This aqueduct really lends a nice character to the city. It has that flavor that you get in various parts of Europe where you have the Roman aqueducts. This isn't as old, obviously, but just as beautiful. They have these gorgeous walkways all over Morelia. So this is the Alley of Romance. It's the last stop on our Old Town walking tour. This street is the most romantic street in Morelia, no doubt about it. I've read online in several places that there's a lot of actual stories of people of romance that started here, but no specific story. So it's obviously very beautiful. But I'd love to add a specific story to my blog here. So if you know of a story of people who fell in love here, whether historically or presently, that'd be great if you could share it with me. Just click the notes below and leave a message. This is the romantic street, and isn't it pretty? It's too bad people are in love with their cars. These sort of places are so romantic, and it's really because there's no cars. There's even a few restaurants on here. Looks like they're making pasta here, fresh pasta. That's romantic. So that completes our walking tour, as I said. Next, if you move down in the blog, you'll find the best day tours around Morelia. Thanks for watching our walking tour. And by the way, if you want to walk this path, just click the notes, and there's a Google Maps walking tour in the notes below this YouTube video. Thanks for watching.